Hi, I'm Steve Pawson from Scion, and today I'm here to talk about some new tools that we're developing for your cell phone so you can contribute to surveillance for biosecurity. We're trying to create a real-time mobile tool that will allow you to enter observations of potential pests that currently are present in New Zealand, or potential new to New Zealand pests that we really want to know about so we can see if we can get rid of them before they become firmly established. I'd like to take you through the functionality and the 3 levels of user that we're trying to target. If you're a new user, you have to sign up. We'll just ask you to put in your username, and we want you to tell us what your main interest is. So forestry, kiwi fruit, weeds, dairy, apiculture, etc. The idea is that everyone has the same skeleton, but the content is given to you that is relevant to the interest that you have. And also we want to know your region. Pests differ in different parts of New Zealand. We do want your contact details, your email and your phone, because if you do see something of real interest, we want to make sure that the relevant biosecurity staff can get hold of you. So let's sign up. And when you sign up, this is where you land. You land on our most basic user interface. So this is for people who they've seen something weird, haven't seen it before, and they really want to report it to someone so that they can give them a bit of a heads up of what it is they might have seen. Really simple, just press the big red button. And it'll ask you to take a photo with the camera of your cell phone, use that photo, and then you'll come to a submit page where it will grab a pest name, it will add the location from your cell phone.
You'll have the opportunity to obscure your record from the public. We're currently liaising with NatureWatch New Zealand about options to incorporate their community of users into this biosecurity reporting process, and also to assist in identification of low-risk reports such as existing pests and weeds where we're interested in monitoring the spread. Obscuring is a useful tool as it allows the record to appear publicly as a randomly placed marker within a 10-kilometre radius of the actual observation. We do know that there is some level of first reporter anxiety out there among some groups, so having a level of anonymity will hopefully encourage more reporting of potential biosecurity threats whilst allowing these users to access the community of experts to help them with their identifications.
You would be given the opportunity to tick a box to say whether or not it came with some imported goods. And that's quite important because that's a big red flag to people that, this might actually be something really suspicious. So you'd submit that. And when you've submitted it, you would end up on your activity page. And this is where all of the records are that you would have submitted as part of the system. Slightly more advanced users. We also have a functionality where you have the rogues gallery of different things. So it's picture book taxonomy. And each of the various sectors that are involved with this, be it forestry, be it the regional council weed teams, would have access to these little sets of 9. And the idea is you can swipe right and left on your screen and you'll get a different set of 9. So here, for example, we've got forestry pathogens, we've got forestry insects, and we've got forestry weeds. And the content for these would be placed there by the various sector representatives to ensure that the things that they want you to look for are the things that are of most interest to them. And this could be a mixture of current pests or potential new to New Zealand's. Here, it's not very much of a forestry example, but given that it's New Zealand's #1 nasty, we thought we'd highlight it, the old brown mum-rated stink bug. So if you thought you perhaps had seen one of them, you click on that to report it, and you would get a little fact sheet. This would tell you a little bit of information about the species with some images, and we'd annotate those images to show you what are the key diagnostic characters that you should be looking at. So if you think you saw it, you would report this pest. Just use that photo, and again you would submit that, but this time it goes into the system with a flag saying we think this is what the species is, and people can tell you if you're right or wrong. But what we also want to include in this is some artificial intelligence that uses computer vision and iNaturalist's 5.5 million image library of species from around the world to try and give you an instant answer if you're in cell phone coverage as to what it is that you might have seen. It gets it right quite a lot of the time. Sometimes it gets it spectacularly and humorously wrong. This is a computer trying to interpret your fuzzy image that you've taken. So take it with a grain of salt, but make sure you watch your activity page because this is where your ID is going to be confirmed and experts are going to make sure that you know what it is that you're looking at. Multiple sectors, and so you can add and edit your interests on the settings page. And so for example, you're a forestry person, but you also have an interest in the regional weeds that are in your area, so you want to know about those weeds. So let's add a second interest. Okay, and then let's go back to our main rogues gallery of pests. So now our heading for forestry here has changed to a drop-down list where you can also include the weeds. You see very similar functionality, but your content has changed now. So it's the same skeleton, but now the content is reflecting the weeds in your particular region. Here, for example, Southland, gunner is of interest, so you could again click on that and you would see the fact sheet, you could report the pest, and it would all be very similar. For the more advanced users, we have these more pest lists. And this is for people who really do know what it is that they're seeing anyway, and they want to report specific weeds or a specific pest. So these are long lists of species. As an interim, we're aiming to put in the full 650 sort of New Zealand weed list, and you'll be able to filter these by types of weeds. You'll be able to search for specific weeds. That's pretty much the functionality. You have either the main report a pest big red button, you have the rogues gallery, and you have your more pest lists for the advanced users. I'd love to hear some feedback from you if you think we could make any adjustments to it.